summoned her to this terrace. I'll update you.
What's going on?
Mecca summoned her to the terrace. Are you going?
Well, I can't leave him up there.
Does this mean that you like me?
I do like you, Whitney. I do.
I kind of like you too.
If you've been on my channel for a while, you know that every show I watch, I find my favorite couple. And I'm just going to put it out there. Mehdi and Whitney are it for me. I love Tariq and Ella, but Mehdi and Whitney, I have this sort of little giggly side. They banter. It's so cute and so authentic without toxicity at the moment. I know they do clash, and I hate that the producers keep showing us the clashes and they don't show us the cutie side of their relationship. And I wish we would see more of that, especially the way Whitney is so giggly and so bubbly and so shy. You can tell she didn't expect to develop the feelings she's developed for Mehdi, and now that they're there, she doesn't know what to do with herself. She's struggling with the same thing that Ty is struggling with. She's struggling to process these feelings and how she can sort of, make sure that Mehdi feels the same way that she feels and not embarrass herself on national TV. But anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. Welcome back. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 10, Episode 15. Seriously, am I the only one wondering why we sent Andre home and saved Sammy? Sammy deserved to go home. He deserved to go home. He should have gone home with Leah and whoever else. They shouldn't even have brought Leah in. They should have left Richie in the villa. But anyway, I digress. So Sammy is still going on with Jess. He storms off. He comes back and it's like he's behaving like a little kid. I think he wants to sort of leave Jess, but he also knows that Jess holds the destiny of his fate in the villa. So he's trying to sort of make it seem like Jess needs him more than he needs her. Because he came back after obviously Mitch had come with Catherine to have a chat with Jess, and Jess was Jess is being very vague. I think Jess is pretending to be dumb, and I think she's actually smarter than people give her credit for. For them to call Leah and sort of have a conversation and him to be very dismissive, I think Jess had enough. And Jess is trying to be in everybody's good books because she knows she will need their votes in order to stay in the villa. So as long as she can be in everybody's good books, she'll try and play nice with everyone. But I don't think she's in for whatever Sammy's trying to give her. I think she's sussed him out. She's realized that he is playing games. He's only with her because she knows she's very popular and the fans like her. He's only with her because he doesn't have anyone else that is to his liking. And I think in Casamo, he's going to go wild. And then the girl, she has a conversation with the girls about how she feels, and she's still playing coy. She's very vague in sort of saying exactly what she feels, but you can tell she's reading the situation. Leah is happier that at least Sammy apologized. For me, that was not an apology. I'm sorry, that was not. He was being very patronizing and very sort of dismissive in regards to their feelings. That's how I felt. So Catherine receives a text message to say the Hideaway is open. And before she could even finish the sentence that the Hideaway, Whitney had shouted, Ella and Ty. I think because Whitney didn't want Molly and Zach to go in, because I think the girls feel some type of way about Zach, especially given the way he treated Catherine. So I wasn't surprised that Ty and Ella ended up in the Hideaway. Ty was excited. Ella was excited as well. And this is what I like about the girls, that they look out for each other. And the fact that they knew that Ty and Ella are the only couple with the strongest connection at the moment, I think everyone can read that Molly and Zach are a relationship of convenience and that it's strategy by the producers because they want to try and get Molly as far as possible in this competition. And it was sweet to see Ty and Ella make the most of their time in the Hideaway. I don't know whether they forgot that they were on camera, although they sort of set up pillows and the duvets in a way that you couldn't see exactly what was going on underneath the duvets, but Ty must have had a great time. And I think now whoever comes in and wants to talk to Ella, Ty is going to be ready for them. He's going to be on 10 because he was already, on it with Scott and was about to confront Scott. So I can just imagine now that he's been intimate with Ella, how things are going to go. But anyway, we'll see. So everybody else in the villa goes to sleep. Obviously, Ty and Ella are having the time of their lives in the Hideaway. And in the morning, everybody's wondering what happened. And Mitch is saying, we'll see what, Ty's face, will be able to tell exactly what's happened. And I like the fact that Ty was very coy. He didn't say anything about what happened. Ella's the one who was actually teasing and saying Ty wanted me to whip him. I think Ty has got a lot of strong feelings for Ella, and I think he is seeing. I've said this before, that he's experiencing things that he's never experienced before, and he's actually possibly seeing a future with Ella, and this is why he's sort of trying to sort of contain himself and try to be his best self, because even during the debriefing he was saying, you know, he feels they're very close now, and he feels it will take something very, 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 very different in order for him to turn his head, because at the place where he is with Ella, he's happy, which I understand and I appreciate. Zach was talking about, you know, we had a great time with Molly. Molly was saying it's nice to be in a couple that you really want to be in, and it's like, okay, it does make sense because she couldn't stand Mitch. But for Catherine to detail that didn't make sense to me. Does this mean she wasn't happy in her coupling with Andre? I've said this before, that Catherine should never have given Andre the opportunity to open the door, and should never have pretended that she was interested in him. I know she wants to stay in the villa, but she should have, you know, looked after Andre and allowed Andre to stay in his coupling that he was in, and he might still be in the villa until maybe the finale. I'll repeat this again, because for her to say, yeah, I feel, when she's asked how does it feel to be with Scott, and she says, oh yeah, it's nice to be in a couple where you are happy to be in, and you actually want to put in the work, and it's like, I don't get it. You were with Andre, you didn't like Andre, you went to Zach, you liked Zach, things didn't work out, then you went back to Andre. So the only person I can assume you didn't feel anything romantic with is Andre. You might have had a friendship, but that was it. That's the impression that I'm getting from her comments. I didn't like those comments. And then Sammy's becoming too big-headed, and his age is showing, because he says to the guys, you know, I think I've apologized enough. I don't think I've done anything wrong. I don't need to continue to be grilled for this. I haven't done anything wrong. And it's like, you did. Mitch called you out on this before, that when you're trying to play Molly and Jess before, and now you're trying to play Leah and Jess again. And for you to say you can't see what you did wrong doesn't make sense. Jess says she's going to have a conversation with Mitch to try and keep Sammy on his toes, and it's like, oh, Mitch is a bit scary. You don't want to open that door. You don't want to open that door. Leave him alone. Leave him alone, and let's, you know, carry on with whatever mess you're in with Sammy, and try and push it until a bombshell comes in, or until Kasamo starts, because you don't want to entertain Mitch. Because she does pull Mitch for a chat, and they start talking, and Mitch is sort of agreeing with her that, you know, Sammy was wrong. But then Mitch is one of those guys who is very insecure, in my opinion, and the only way he can make himself good is by talking bad or talking down about others, in the sense that he was starting to criticize Sammy, and it's like, why? You did the same thing about Zach. You did the same thing about every single guy in the villa. Why do you continue to want to pull other people down? Show out your best qualities, and if somebody likes you, they'll like you. You don't need to criticize everyone around you in order for you to shine. Kids on my nerves. Mitch has me on the floor. The audacity. It's the audacity for me. The fact that he says, oh, you know, if Sammy hadn't gone before me, I would have coupled up with you, because I think you and me have a closer connection than me and Leah. And it's just like, bitch, if you've been given a role to play the role you've been given. This is why you're in the situation you're in. You had, you know, a sure thing with Molly. She would have, you know, kept you in the villa until the finale, but you decided to play stupid games, and look where you are now. You don't have anyone to couple up with. Leah is coupled up with you because there's no other choice for her, and instead of focusing on that, you're still going back and chasing Jess when you said Jess and you didn't have a connection right out the gate. Make it make sense. I love Mehdi and Whitney. They had a conversation, and Whitney, I think because Ella had told her that yes, Mehdi is right to be upset because you were disrespectful. I didn't like the way you behaved when you was making comments about you, and there were positive comments at recoupling. I think you need to apologize. And when she apologized, Mehdi accepted it for what it was, and he said, I'm just waiting for actions. I think Mehdi and Whitney are developing feelings as well. It's cute to see them, you know, when they're communicating. Oh my God, I love their conversations. And I like how shy Whitney gets, because Mehdi is able to put her in her position respectfully. He's never disrespected her, even when he's calling her out. He's never disrespected her. When he's talking about her at the fire pit, it's always in a positive light. Yes, he does talk about how loud she is, but maybe he's one of those people who doesn't like, you know, all that noise. So I have to give him credit for that. And then Sammy's running to the guys and telling them, oh, I had a conversation with Jess to tell her that I didn't like, the fact that she pulled Mitch for a chat when she told me that Mitch wasn't it for her. And it's like, why are you making it seem like you're the victim? This is the same thing you did when you sat down with Jess. You were criticizing Jess for pulling Mitch for a chat because she told you she wasn't interested in him. And it's like, just make it known to everyone that you screwed up. You're worried about your place in the villa and you want to make sure that Jess feels guilty and she keeps you in the villa for as long as possible until you secure your place in the villa, you build relationships and you find someone that's your type. Don't pretend like Jess is the one at fault. You are the one who was flirting with people. You're the one who was telling different stories. So please make it make sense. And for Zach to say, oh yes, you were right to tell her that, is like, Zach, sit down somewhere. Sit down somewhere and keep quiet. Nobody wants to hear from you. And so I didn't like that. And then Mitch thrives in toxicity because he was listening into the conversation when Jess and Sammy were arguing. And then he immediately pulled Jess aside to sort of say, you need to keep your wits about you. I care about you. I care about you more as a person than I do in creating a connection with you. So I want you to know that I'm always here. It's like, Mitch, sit down. Sit down. Stop criticizing other people and stop making it weird. You keep coming up across as a creep every time you get into a situation. You keep turning girls off. You need to work on that. Say it, but Molly receives a message that they're going to be playing a situationship game, and Sammy's age is showing. His immaturity, his ability not to take accountability for his actions is just shocking. Shocking. I don't know how he can be 22 years old and not know when to own up to his mistakes and not know when to apologize and not and have to wait for people to drag it out of him. Because during the game, he sort of said, everyone was asked, oh, do you think your partner is open to getting to know anyone? And most people said no. Some people said yes. And then he turns around and says, well, I'm brave enough to own up my crap and say, yes, I am open to getting to know other people because, I still am not yet closed off and I think other people are lying. So Ty asked him, who do you mean they're lying? Don't say other people, because there's a couple of other couples here. Just say so and so and so and so are lying. They're still open to getting to know people. He comes back to the villa and starts complaining, oh, I feel Ty was trying to put me on the spot. If you did not want to be put on the spot, why did you make that comment? If you're going to say stuff, say it with your chest and be able to take it when somebody confronts you. Don't start a conversation and then run and start crying victim just because you're not able to back up whatever stupid comment you made. I didn't like that. You really wound me up. Whitney and Mehdi. I think people are making Whitney and Mehdi to be the couple with the least chemistry because they are not kissing and hugging and doing whatever. But I think they're a couple that's got a more solid connection than some of the other couples that are making out. I think they have a more solid connection than Zach and Molly in the sense that they spend time getting to know one another. And I think the producers are trying to create a situation whereby the fans are turned away from Whitney and Mehdi because people really like Whitney, and I think they're trying to get Mehdi out. So if they can get Mehdi out, then they'll be able to get Whitney out because she'll have no one to couple up with. This is the same trick that they used on Andre, and I think they're trying to use the same playbook on Whitney and Mehdi, because we don't get to see their conversations when they're having a great time. All we get to see is these confrontations, these apologies, that's all we seem to get. Mehdi, when he came back and he was asked, you had a tough time, people said some of the, the comments that were, the responses that were given during the challenge, and he was like, well, it's true. I have to accept it because it is the truth. People didn't lie. So I take it for what it is and we'll see how we go. Yes, we've had a couple of problems, but I don't think their problems are as big as everybody else in the villa. So I think once they get over that, they'll be fine. And besides, if they don't have problems, if they're just coasting, then the producers are not going to show them. So for as long as they can keep this crap going, then they're likely to get more airtime. That's just the opinion that I get. Whitney on her part was saying, Mehdi is a slow burner, I'm a slow burner, and I need him. I think she's waiting for him to initiate a physical touch, so because physical touch is her love language. And so Ella was also saying that, Mehdi makes it seem like you're the only one who's at fault in your relationship when it's the two of you. And Catherine actually accepted that, agreed that Mehdi and Whitney are slow burners, but they are going to have one of the strongest connections in the villa, which is what I said because they're not focusing on sexual attraction. They're focused on getting to know one another. And this is why they'll be a stronger couple than Zach and Molly, because Zach and Molly, I don't even know what they like about each other outside of the fact that I think they find each other sexually attractive, and the fact that Molly is happy that she was able to steal Zach from from Catherine, because when they were talking about couples that were playing the game and Catherine said Zach and Molly, Molly sort of rolled her eyes, and it's like, why are you rolling your eyes? That's the truth, though. You were with Mitch, and when you realized Mitch wasn't working, you suddenly found interest in Zach. So make it make sense. But anyway, I digress. So everybody gets ready for the night, and then they have their cocktails, obviously, and they cheers and go off in their groups. And Sammy and Jess are still going on about the stupid conversation about the fact that, you know, Sammy was trying to flirt with Leah behind Jess's back, and you're telling Jess something else, and they're both not closed off, and they're open to getting to know other people. You can tell Sammy's upset that Jess is talking to Mitch, and it's a stupid argument. It's just to stay relevant. It's just to make the producers continue to focus on them, or maybe the producers are pushing for this to continue, and it's like, we want things that happen organically. We don't need to be force-fed this situationship that we don't want to see. And then Mehdi and Whitney, oh my god, I love them. I love them. They had their conversation, and you can tell Mehdi is now, you know, growing closer, because the guys, while they were changing, had asked him, is there any change with your relationship with Whitney? Do you think you're growing closer? Do you think there's something there? And he said, well, this is the conversation I need to have with her and find out. So during their conversation, he told her, I am drawing closer to you. I want to know, are you feeling me? And she went, yeah, I am. And then in the confessional, she's like, you know, I'm a baddie. You know, me and my friends are like, oi, oi. I think they're very loud with her friends. And she's like, you know, Mehdi is very French. He's like a Frenchman in Mayfair. It's like, Whitney, you're crazy. I hope she gets a job once she leaves the villa as a commentator, because she has great one-liners, amazing one-liners. And I think the two of them have decided to pursue something romantic. And they did agree that they don't seem to talk as much as they do. Mehdi said he loves spending most of his time with Whitney. And this is why I was saying that I wish they would work on their foundation. Once their foundation is settled, then the two of them can just sit there and just read everybody else in the villa. Just for the sake of it. Just for the sake of it. Just to give us a commentary. I think they'll give us a more amazing commentary than anyone else that they have. And then Catherine has a conversation with Scott. Catherine is in the same situation as Danica. And I think what the producers have done is they've tried to get all the guys that come in to pretend to like Catherine before they move on to the girl of their choice. In the sense that I think the viewers are complaining that, you know, the guys were shunning Danica because she was a black girl and they were not showing any interest in her. They were more focused on, you know, the blonde hair, blue eyes type of girl, and this is why they weren't interested in Danica. And I think this is the same situation with Catherine. I think what they're doing is they come in, they pretend to like Catherine, couple up with Catherine, and then work their way to the person of their choice. And I think Scott really liked Leah when he walked in, but decided to use Catherine as a stepping stone, the same way Zach used Catherine as a stepping stone to Molly, and I don't know why. And this is why I said she should have stayed with Andre, because she liked Andre. Or she should have worked with some... the problem is there weren't that many other guys that she could have worked with, but I think she should have made more of an effort with Andre, and she should have shut the door down to Scott, or she should have shut the door down to Zach and should have been in a better position, but that's just me. Oh my god, at this rate, I have a feeling that Mitchell is going to recouple with Jess at this rate, because of the way he keeps pushing up on her. Every conversation, he keeps telling her that Sammy is very immature, he's the better choice, and he really likes her, and he's going to make the effort, and he's going to do this. I think eventually what's going to happen is Sammy is going to recouple with Jess, and they're going to stay with each other until they get to the finale, and then after the finale, they'll break up. That's the impression that I'm getting. Molly and Zach are having a conversation. Oh, you know, we really like each other. We really like spending time with each other. Even when we go for debriefing soon after, we find our way to each other. It's like, you do find your way to each other, but what are you discussing? What's the substance behind this relationship outside of the fact that you like kissing each other and making out in bed? What else is there to this relationship that would keep us entertained? I didn't get that. And then I like the girls' relationships. Even if they don't get along, they really disagree on something, they will call each other out, but they'll also support each other, because Ella was speaking to Whitney, and Whitney was telling her that, you know, she really likes Mehdi, and Mehdi has told her that, you know, he really likes her. And she's like, you didn't tell me this, you're just telling me now. And she's like, oh, is that important? And am I supposed to say so? And it's like, Yeah, you are. That's a big deal. And you can tell she's very shy. I think Whitney has fallen for Mehdi. I think Whitney and Mehdi are having more conversations and their relationship is way stronger than what the producers are showing us. I think there's more substance to that relationship. I think they really care about each other. And I think it started off as a friendship with them liking each other. And then it's eventually developed into something romantic. And because they come from two different worlds, as Whitney said, this is why they thought they might not work, but they've been surprised that they really like each other and they really seem to be working. And I think because of the conversation during the challenge, the topic that everybody felt they didn't have any sexual attraction, they've decided to explore this. Because next we see Whitney with Catherine. She's telling Catherine the same thing. And then Mehdi, out of the blue, comes and asks Whitney, do you want to go to the terrace? And the day before, Whitney had been asking him, are you going to take me to the terrace? And he was saying, oh, well, you can only hope. And he was mocking her. I think this is their relationship. This is how they communicate. They have this banter whereby at times they're sort of testing the water to see how the other person feels. So they might have a question or they might have a concern. Instead of just blurting it out and upsetting the other person, they're sort of bringing it in as a joke, and then as it comes in as a joke and they realize that, oh yeah, the person is comfortable with it, then they actually fully explore, I think, because of their difference in background. So Mehdi says, I'm giving you 5 minutes to join me up on the terrace. And then Ella immediately came up because I think she was curious. She saw Mehdi walk there and walk off and she's like, what's going on? And then Catherine's like, Mehdi's summoned her, she needs to go. And oh my god, Whitney's all giggly and all googly eyes, especially when Mehdi was talking to her. And then the girls are like, Catherine really wanted this for Whitney because she kept pushing, go, you need to go. And Ella's like, wait, she needs to tell me what's going on. She's like, no, she's been summoned, she needs to go. So she goes upstairs. She says she's only going to do what she wants to do. She goes upstairs and they make out, and you see how shy she is, how excited, and how happy Mehdi is, the big grin on his face as well. I really like them as a couple. I wish they were allowed to explore their relationship without the producer sort of intervening. I wish we got to see the progression of this relationship, because this is more organic, this is more authentic than what they're trying to force down our throats with Zach and Molly. I think I would prefer to watch Mehdi and Whitney, because I think there's more to that relationship than the arguments that we keep being shown. But anyway, I digress. I really love that for Whitney. I'm so excited. I'm going to start campaigning. We need to save Mehdi and Whitney. They need to stay in the villa until the end. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, comment, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. Bye, everyone.